Last night, a rough late inning cost the Astros the opener in Seattle. Tonight, they're back at Safeco Field for the middle contest of a three-gamer with the contending Mariners. Astros right-hander Collin McHugh goes for a personal fifth consecutive winning decision. Hi, everybody. Alan Ashby and Jeff Lum with you. Julia Morales joins in just a little while. We mentioned last night's game. Brad Peacock in the loss was very good in his start.
Yeah, I thought Brad pitched very well. Came out of that fifth inning. He had 92 pitches in those 5 innings. But you know that Tom Wallace wants to go out there and see some of those guys in the bullpen. Just didn't end the way they wanted to.
We also mentioned that Collin McHugh goes tonight. It was right here in Seattle, April 22nd, that Collin McHugh had a tremendous debut for the club, and he has been great since.
Yeah, we really had no idea what to expect from Collin McHugh. Kind of making that spot start in the rotation, kind of a filler. He ended up being one of the top 2 in the rotation by the end of the season. It all started right here in Seattle with those 12 strikeouts with no walks. Great high fastball. Does a good job elevating that and high in the zone, about 92, 93. But it's that hammer that's been really good for him throughout the course of the season. Very
nice assortment of pitches. He spots them well, and he just continues to compete at a very high level. Collin McHugh is a guy the Astros need in a lot of these big games now, Blummer.
Yeah, he's done a good job. And actually, in the middle of the season, he had that blister issue we talked about, but he's had 3 starts against the Seattle Mariners, too. The ERA jumped up about 5 per game, and he's given up 3 home runs in that last start against Seattle, but those numbers greatly improving because of the success of that fastball-curveball combo.
Robbie Grossman is another guy to talk about for the Astros right about now. Last year, he had a slow start to his year. Late in the season, really came on. Kind of doing the same thing this year.
Yeah, he is doing the same thing, and we know what Robbie Grossman going, and he's a high on-base percentage guy, likes to take a lot of pitches, is actually a good guy to have at the top of that lineup for the Houston Astros because he's going to see a lot of pitches. But what you and I both have noticed, Ash, is that when he's aggressive in the count, picks a pitch, gets it early in the count, and goes after it, usually has pretty good success. And, of course, with the numbers not being too great overall at 217 on the season, you'd like to see him finish a lot stronger.
The power surge has been a headline grabber, but there's a subtle side to Chris Carter's turnaround season you might have overlooked. Julia Morales breaks down the major strides being made in Carter's short game when we come back. For Carter on the night, 0 for 3 and 3 strikeouts. And the strikeouts have been mounting. Slider line down the left field side. This is going to break that 0 for 15. Carter got himself all of this one. Home run number 14.
Number 23 for Carter.
Home runs, all the water in the face, and it's everything we've been doing, so it's a lot funner here now.
His 12th home run in the month of August. He leads the majors.
Mr. Carter's really improved. Get your swings when you're in there. Get 3 of them. That moving bat is dangerous.
Number 36 for Carter. That possibility of winning the home run crown for Carter is becoming more and more real.
You're watching Astros baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. The Astros and Mariners facing off in just a couple of minutes. The Astros making their final trip to Seattle in 2014. Seattle, a lover of music, though, and the birthplace of Jimi Hendrix, and then, of course, grunge, as Nirvana changed the industry back in the early 90s. EMP Museum just behind me. We're going to take you inside throughout the broadcast, give you some glimpses of what it's like in there. But right now, I'll get you ready for the baseball game at hand. Game 2 of this 3-game set, and the Astros in dire need of some offense. They've been getting it from Jose Altuve all season long, and then Chris Carter also since July 1st. He's been on a tear, but what's been impressive about Carter is the way he's changed his entire approach. He's found ways to get on base, and it's not just via home run. Riding a 7-game hit streak right now. He's hitting 400 over that 7 days, and he's also drawing walks. It's a sign of respect in Oakland. We saw that a couple of times, but also drawing one late in last night's game where he went 1 for 3. The Astros, though, they hope that he can find the seats at Safeco Field. We've seen him be very comfortable at this ballpark, and he looks to add to his home run total of 36 right now, ranked 3rd in the major leagues. Coming up, Chris Carter reaping the benefits of guys like Robbie Grossman and Jose Altuve getting on base in front of him. But can the Astros 1-2 punch tee up the big slugger for some Safeco heroics? Ash and Blummer have lineups and first pitch when we return.
And Mariners, and tomorrow being the final game here between the two clubs on the season. 3 more coming up in Houston, part of the next homestand, with the Indians also coming in for 4 games. The Astros trying to win one tonight after having one slip away last night late in the ball game. Few runs went on the board for Seattle. Tough one for Tom Lawless and company, but they continue to play well. play tough games against these ball clubs trying to get into the postseason. As we presently stand, Seattle is one of the ball clubs that does have a spot, an entry ticket into the postseason. The Astros will try to turn that around starting tonight with that starting lineup presented by Jack in the Box. Robbie Grossman in the top spot, followed by second baseman Jose Altuve and center fielder Dexter Fowler. Middle three in the order. The DH, we've talked a lot about him, Chris Carter. Jason Castro does the catching, and in right field, Jake Marisnick. And the bottom three in the order, John Singleton. He's at first. At third base, Matt Dominguez, and Jonathan Villar gets a start at short.
On the mound for the Seattle Mariners, Roenis Elias, we will call him. Correct?
Elias, I think.
Elias.
But, I think anything you say there is going to be probably utilized by a lot of folks.
Yep, 28 start on the season, 10-12 record, doing a nice job. Came all the way up from Double-A to the big leagues, skipping Triple-A. In his last 8 starts, he's given up 2 runs or less, doing a pretty good job. He's given up 16 home runs on the season. He's averaging 8 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched. Fastball, curveball, and an excellent changeup that seemed to have gotten better after the All-Star break.
Yeah, keep the left-handed bats away from this guy. They've had a struggle under the 200 mark. Well, we've got some prime-time picks from the boys here this evening. Let's see how they go. I said Chris Carter. I went out on a limb.
Yeah,
it was a
you're
very
really
small
stretching there,
limb with
you?
that one.
Good grief.
Against the left-hander. Of course,
Going
you
left
go
on
lefty
left.
versus lefty.
He's got better numbers against left-handed
Yes,
pitchers.
Yes, he does. Talking about Jason Castro. There's Chris Carter. Come on, folks. Jump on with me on Chris Carter.
Well, my first primetime pick has to be an ex-teammate.
Well, listen to
Jason
you. And
Castro,
you
let's
jumped
go.
all over Jose Altuve last night. And I might add, kind of ruined his evening and snapped the 14-game
So you
inning
got
streak.
Castro looking forward to that. We didn't even announce those picks, so technically
No, I
it
know.
never happened.
Well, it did happen in my mind.
Trying to stir an empty pot.
That pot has been loaded now as Robbie Grossman gets it started. He takes a strike. Robbie had 3 big hits in last night's game, including what for a moment looked like a home run. He eventually wound up being a triple. He scored on a sac fly by Altuve, and therefore that pick of the night for Jeff Blum.
Or so you say. Got
So
no evidence of that.
You're still going to go with that
no
not being the
evidence.
game. Well, you know what? I'll bet we could dig something up from last night to make that true.
Go for it.
Well, okay, we'll see how that goes.
Get your pick and shovel and get after it.
I rely on the guys in the truck, and so.
Oh yeah, because they're going to side with me. Yeah, right.
Just because you can't maintain a decent
Tom is
relationship
down there
with
punching
the guys,
in the graphic right now to make me look bad. I guarantee it.
0-2 little dribbler foul. So we're off to a good start here in Seattle tonight.
There is a game going on, right?
I think so. Robbie Grossman has an 0-2 count. He would confirm that something's going on.
Trying to get something going on. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, and that's Jeff Blum trying to deny that he picked Jose Altuve last night. But
that was the I didn't pick Altuve look.
You know what? He had the
what?
only RBI of the night for the Astros. So I would say you actually made a pretty good pick.
Don't try and backpedal.
That was no backpedaling. I was actually trying to be nice to you, but that will be the last time this evening.
Again. It's early this time.
Get it out early. That's what I say. Robbie Grossman with that 1-2 count. Be followed by Altuve and Dexter Fowler here in the first inning. See if we can get Jeff Blum to confirm anything with accuracy tonight.
They're paying me a lot of money to try and do that.
You said they are or they're not?
They are.
Okay.
Truth is, what you think it is.
Have you been checking out the American League wild card as we get into tonight's game? The Oakland A's, wow, what a scuffle they've had going on. They actually own one of the wild card spots right now as the Angels are just running away with the Western Division. Kansas City owns their division by a whole half a game over the Tigers. And then Seattle has the other wild card spot right now.
Yeah, it's going to get interesting down the stretch.
Grossman down on strikes to start the night. Out number 1, it brings up Altuve. Let's take a look at what that wild card looks like on electronic paper. You can see the A's and Mariners at the top. Are the Tigers going to get back in?
Yes. I believe they will. They're currently beating the Kansas City Royals 4-2 in the bottom of the 8th inning.
That was a 3-0 KC lead, was it not?
Considering they only have 2 runs, no.
You don't think so? Okay. Well, that's right. It was 3-0 Tigers early. So it's the Royals making the comeback bid.
Attempting to.
Yep.
But if that Detroit Tigers lineup can get hot, back up some of that strong pitching they get.
Ball's raked to center field, but hangs up for Jackson. 2 down here in the first inning. Altuve still looking for that first knock here in the series.
I noticed you didn't pick Altuve after the yesterday's game. That's a little harsh.
I didn't want to have that same impact you had with last night's pick.
Jeez. A little faith in the kid.
I'm rooting for the guy. I want that batting title. I want that hits title. I think the hits title and the stolen base titles are there. He's not going to give those up. I just want to see him close out the deal with the batting title this year.
That would be good to see.
Strike at the knees on Dexter Fowler, batting with 2 outs and the bases empty here in the first.
Victor Martinez is over 3 on the night. Has a walk. Now down to 335.
With Jose Altuve starting the night at 338, and so Altuve with a marginal lead right now over Victor Martinez. Adrian Beltre, Robinson Cano, and Jose Abreu following in that batting race in the American League. Well, that's a good one.
It's a lot of good things to watch here in September in baseball.
National League batting race not quite as compelling, I don't think, unless you're one of the guys or their family members. Justin Morneau leads, followed by Josh Harrison and Ben Revere. Andrew McCutchen is also still involved. Buster Posey as well. Buster Posey's made kind of a late run here
to
kind of get back into things.
It's good timing for the San Francisco Giants, too.
The Giants trying to find their way into the postseason. Yeah, it's a lot going on. Pitch fouled off. You have no football to watch tonight, so
yeah, I'm here.
Enjoy your evening.
Oh, yeah. You know, Buster Posey's raised his average almost 100 points since the All-Star break.
What?
Yeah.
You're saying he was hitting just over 200 at the break?
Raking. Yeah.
Wow. I wasn't aware that it was that large of a surge.
I said almost.
Knowing you, that could mean a whole lot. Backhanded by Cano, and what a play. Dexter Fowler robbed on this ground ball back up the middle. A 1-2-3 first inning for Elias. Three-game set. Colin McHugh is getting it loose here as we see more Astros fans on hand to take in tonight's game. The starting lineup for those Seattle Mariners: Austin Jackson in center field, followed by left fielder Andy Chavez, and at second base, already making great play, Robinson Cano. Middle three in the order: Kyle Seager, he's the third baseman. The DH is Kendry Morales, and Logan Morrison plays at first. And the bottom three: Mike Zunino behind the dish. In right, Michael Saunders, and Brad Miller's at short.
On the mound, Colin McHugh back to where he made his Astros debut. We've talked all about it. No walks, 12 strikeouts in that appearance. Next 2 times against the Mariners, they put a 5 spot on him each time. But he's been extremely good in his last 7 games. The opponent batting average against him in those 7 games is .216. Whip right around 1, going 4-0. The team is 5-2 in those last 7 starts for Colin McHugh.
So Colin is set to work. 1-2-3 first inning for Elias. And the first pitch from McHugh is outside. April 22nd was the date when Colin McHugh joined the Astros. We were on the bus as Colin joined in. We weren't even sure initially who he was. And he pitched that night, struck out 12. And it's kind of been a little bit of a fairy tale story since.
Yeah, I almost asked him to do my taxes on the bus, but he came out and threw 12 strikeouts. Pretty good.
I think he might have been able to pull that off and pitch well that evening. Pretty well-rounded guy. Pitch it in the air and fairly deep right center field. Marisnick on the run. He'll get there and make the play. Austin Jackson retired on the fly ball and out number 1.
Just saw Jake Marisnick out there making a running grab again. Dexter Fowler's going to be in center. Robbie Grossman out there in left field. Across the infield, Domingo at third base. Jonathan Villar making an appearance at shortstop. Altuve and Singleton on the right side of that infield. And Jason Castro putting down signs for Colin McHugh.
Okay, Blummer, as Andy Chavez stands in, your chance to come clean on the Busty Poser.
He's hitting 100 points higher than he did in the first half.
Ah, good. Yeah. So he hit 277 in the first half.
Almost 100. Approximately .086 if we've got to be exact. I'm not sure if I have to go into the pi numbers to get down to the end, but rounding up, it would be .086 better in the second half than he did in the first half.
Pi numbers actually would be good.
I don't have the wherewithal to go that deep into that number. I'm just taking them what I'm given.
Use the slide rule. Go ahead.
There's no slide rules when you got an iPad. Is there an app for that?
There probably is.
You still carry one of those around?
Have you checked it out? I'll bet there is. 3 balls and no strikes as McHugh falls behind. Andy Chavez followed by Robinson Cano. It's been kind of a frisky start to tonight's game.
I like it. It's good. I'm awake.
Strike on the outside edge. You were talking about in the open that ability of McHugh to deliver that fastball in the top part of the strike zone.
It's a Brent Strom theory of pitching.
Another higher strike than we would have seen last night. I like it. I would love to see the entire rule book strike.
You're going to lose a lot of friends wanting that.
Well, not if they're pitchers.
That is true. You like those guys, though.
No, well. Hung around a number of them. Popped up on the infield. Right at the home plate area. Jason Castro with the play and 2 outs here in the first. So McHugh comes back to get Chavez after falling behind 3-0.
Nice work.
Beat the Angels his last time out. Well, that was a good one, and you were working that ball game.
Yeah, that was against Jared Weaver.
Your impressions of Colin?
Competitor. That's probably the one thing that's grown on me a little bit is that he's such a competitor. Nothing really phases him. He goes out there. He knows who he's up against. But he continues to go out there and pitch his game. I really haven't seen him deviate or try and reinvent himself. He's just a fastball, curveball, occasional cut and slide. But aggressive around the zone, not afraid of contact, even though he's getting so many swings and misses.
Cano slices one in the air down the left field side. It goes back to the seats. Long chase by Robbie Grossman. Now, the Seattle Mariners are not going to be confused with the great offensive teams of all time. But in the heart of the order now, and when you add Austin Jackson to the top, Robinson Cano, Kyle Seager, Kendry Morales, they've got some guys who can thump it around a little bit.
Yeah, you make a mistake, they're going to hammer it.
Bud McClendon has done a whale of a job with this club this year. Another strike. It's 0-2. Cano doesn't like the call.
This is your kind of strike zone right here, Ash.
Well, I like it. I'm good.
Make him swing.
Is that too high for you?
No, it's not too high. Maybe off the outside corner, but not too high.
Okay. Jeff Nelson behind the plate tonight. Pat Hoberg at first. Scott Berry's at second. And down at third, Mark Carlson. So we're watching the work of Jeff Nelson, the crew chief behind the dish. There's the curveball that has been such a big weapon for Colin McHugh. We tend to talk about Scott Feldman a lot. He's the guy that leads baseball in terms of percentage of throwing the curveball, but Colin is not behind him in terms of effectiveness with that pitch.
No, he's got some crazy numbers with that curveball. Batting average against that breaking ball is 145.
That was good enough to mention again. Batting average against the curveball.
145 against the curveball. 47% of his strikeouts are on that curveball.
McHugh brings the 2-2. One of the things that Robinson Cano does so well, like Altuve, uses the whole field and can drive it the other way.
And you got to be able to spoil tough pitches like that one.
When you see a guy late like that, but hitting the ball on the barrel the other way on the fastball, does that say maybe better not test him with the breaking ball?
Not sure how much of that strike zone made Cano swing at that too.
Heel down at third base, palms down, coming back from third base umpire Mark Carlson. So it's a full count now on Cano. Colin has had a couple of full counts here in the first inning. I always hate to see that early in a ball game. It shortens the night of a starter.
In September, we got plenty of guys down there.
Well, that was true last night for sure. What was it, 7 pitchers on the night for Houston?
At least.
That shot just foul outside the bag. Cano hitting .322, and again one of the guys involved in the batting title race in the American League. No surprise there.
And you kind of expected the power numbers to go down a little bit for Robinson Cano, going from Yankee Stadium to Safeco Field for sure.
Breaking ball got him. There's that curveball from Colin McHugh. Picks up his first strikeout. A 1-2-3 first inning. We've played one, and we've played it scoreless.
And photo for a chance to be shown in an upcoming broadcast that's brought to you by AT&T. We're back at EMP Museum. This is by far my favorite part of it, though, the sound lab. You can get in here and jam, play the guitar, keyboard. Now with Ash in the booth, who can actually play the guitar, Blummer on the vocals, You got yourself a drummer. I couldn't be more terrible at the drums.
Yeah, but you made that good drummer's face there. That was pretty good.
That's all that matters.
Nice work, Julia. Chris Carter leads off here in the second inning. Hits the first pitch in the air to center field. Fairly deep, but under to make the play is Jackson, out number 1. Well, Julia gets all those fun gigs, doesn't she?
Yeah, you know what her drumming made me think? Is that she's going to have a great future in broadcasting.
Yeah?
Yeah,
because she's not going to work as a drummer? Well, you know what? That started out pretty strong, I thought. She had a nice little drumming riff. Jason Castro stands in.
It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
I don't really know why you have to come down on her like that, though.
Well, I guess my singing could probably make her drums sound good.
You know, you got kind of credited there with the singing part of the gig. And if we throw the group together, you may be the singer, but
with the way technology is these days,
you think they can hold?
They could make me sound great.
Yeah. Well, if they can do that, I can assure you that technology is some kind of special.
Come on, there's some artists out there that I could compete with, I'm sure.
Oh, I have no doubt. Jason Castro hitting .229 on the year. Still working on the drums.
Now listen to this beat right here. This is where it gets real.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. You've got to be able to get that foot in there, too.
Look at the confidence on her, too. That's great. It's good stuff.
That breaking ball's high. 2-1 the count. Have you ever tried the drums?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. I got a buddy that I went to college with. He has a drum set. Go over there and try and destroy it before he kicks me off.
I've never sat back there, but I don't have any illusions of thinking that could be done.
I can play the heck out of a desktop. You've seen that.
Well, yeah, and that's you don't have the foot involvement. The cymbals are not really hanging close.
Thanks for backing me up.
Well, you're good on the desk.
You used to be tight, man.
Well, I'm so much on the side of your singing portion of the program.
Yep.
You've got courage, actually, to lay it out there.
You sure that's what it is? Courage?
There are sometimes late at night I would call it courage.
Liquid?
Yeah. 3-2 pitch. Castro draws the walk. First base runner for the Astros. Comes with 1 out and brings up Jake Marisnick.
That a boy, Castro. That's my boy. Good AB right there.
Okay, so
work him to a 3-2 count. Become that Astros first base runner.
What did we call those? They're not picks to click. They
prime time.
Prime time. Dion would be pleased.
Yeah, he would.
Castro aboard for Marisnick. Jake Marisnick hitting .246. Number's been sliding a little bit, but I keep hearing things about Jake Marisnick, how big and strong he is and what a fine athlete, and I have to agree with all of those assessments. He flies to center field, second out here in the inning. It'll bring up John Singleton. I just think there's enough about Jake Marisnick on the positive side that you have to say, let's give this a good, solid effort.
I'm sure he's in the right spot to get that solid effort. We know that. They've got a lot of patience in that dugout. We've seen it with Chris Carter, and that paid off pretty good.
Carter just continues to pay dividends. You needn't go back much more than about 2 months. And I would challenge people to say that they were on the stick with him side at that point, because it was a real challenge. But since then, absolute no-brainer. Dallas Keuchel talking a little hitting with Carter, no doubt. You know, we've talked so much about Altuve and Carter, and rightly so, on the offensive side of the game. Dallas Keuchel and others, Colin McHugh, Scott Feldman, some of the guys in the bullpen, that back end, Chad Qualls, Tony Sipp, some of the guys that have really had very good seasons. Swing and a miss by Singleton. 1-2 the count. For Singleton, I think batting average matters. How about you? Does that ring true for you?
Yeah. I think the 176 is a little frightening to me to look up there and see. After 279 at bats, that's a daunting. I don't know how to explain it. That's crazy to me to see, because I don't think John's that bad a hitter. I don't think he's a 176 hitter by any means. I think he could turn into one of those Chris Carters. It's like 230 to 250 with 30 bombs.
Well, I think you make the perfect point, because I think bottom line, that's what the Astros are hoping happens, that with enough patience, suddenly Chris Carter comes along. I don't know if it's suddenly. At some point.
At some point, yeah, I agree. It'd be nice to see him finish off, these last 18 games, getting a couple knocks here and there, driving one out of the ballpark, and just kind of go into the offseason not totally demoralized and head into spring training on a new year.
Runner goes, pitch hammered down the right side, but way foul, as Singleton gets the head out in big fashion. All you have to do is see that kind of a swing, and he didn't get all of this ball, but he can hit a ball a long ways.
Yeah, he's another one of those guys, in that Springer Carter mold. It doesn't really need to barrel it up every time to get it out. He can catch a couple of those, clip them off the end of the bat, and still get it out of these places.
In the air, a little looper into left field, dropping, and it will drop in front of Chavez. That's a 2-out single. Stopping at second is Castro, and it brings up Matt Dominguez. That snaps an 0 for 8 for John.
Start stringing some of those together. Get a couple multi-hit games in there. Be able to go home in the off season and enjoy watching some of those videos. He got that one a little bit off the end of the bat, but a hit's a hit right now for John.
You know what he does? He continues to do better against left-hand pitching.
How about the two guys that have gotten on for the Astros? Are the only two left-handed hitters in the lineup.
Jason Castro, that same story. I mean, Jason's been coming along. You certainly see signs. But on the course of the season, he's been quality against the left-hand pitching. Matt Dominguez takes a strike. With the Astros being on the West Coast here in Seattle, that means a lot of the Major League action has already taken place, including Cleveland, that club that's coming in for 4 games into Houston. And the Indians still holding on to hopes that they can find a postseason berth, but they lost 4-3 to Minnesota today. 0-2 the count on Matty D.
Detroit held on to win that game against Kansas City.
So where does that leave Detroit? Are they a half game in front of KC now? Now they started the day a game back, so that would lock them up with KC. Ground ball just foul outside the bag.
That was extremely close. So they would be tied with Kansas City.
Yeah.
Wow. How about that? Atop the Central.
Got a little squirmy like in the 9th inning, did it not?
Ooh, that was real close. Good call.
And you can see how that ball can start fair down the line and wind up outside of the bag. 0-2. Get in the air right field. This is easy for Saunders. That'll do it for the Astros in the second. They leave a pair on the hit and the walk. And we check in with Julia, who just carries the beat for the club. Box. Right now at Jack in the Box, try Jack's new Spicy Chicken Club Combo for just $4.99 plus tax. And by AT&T UVerse TV. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT. Mobilizing your world. It's quite an assortment.
It's a tornado of instruments.
That's where Julia spent her day today, right?
I believe so.
Found her drum set. Pretty ballpark. Great area. If you haven't spent any time in Seattle, I think you owe it to yourself. First pitch of the inning. Four-hitter Kyle Seager at the plate. He takes a strike. Seager hitting .278. Got lots of pop. 23 bombs on the year. It's a good curveball. Where's that at the front of the plate? For me, that has to be high enough. All the way up at the front of the plate. I don't know. It just popped back to the seats. 1-2 the count.
Kyle Seager is reaping the benefits of a home field advantage presented by Coldwell Banker. And believe it or not, at this big ballpark up here in the Northwest, Kyle Seager loves hitting it home. Look at those numbers. 319, 16 of those 23 home runs coming here, right here at Safeco Field. What do you got on that, Ash?
April 23rd, a pair of home runs. That was the day after Colin McHugh's big debut with the ball club. And
walk-off homer.
Yep. I'm sure you remember that one.
I do.
It was a big turnaround for Seattle. And who's to say that wasn't kind of one of those big moments that turns their season in the right direction? Seager has 5 lifetime home runs against Houston, despite the fact that he's hit just .227 against Houston pitching. Another close pitch.
He's faced McHugh 7 times and has 4 strikeouts.
Seager's gotten away with a couple of breaking balls in this sequence. That last one probably away. Seager 0 for 4 in last night's game. Hits one in the air into the gap in left center, but over quickly is Grossman, and out number 1. We'll bring up the 5-hitter, the DH, Kendry Morales. Morales 0 for his last 6. Mentioned last night, Morales, an acquisition by the Mariners back in July. Came over from Minnesota. He had been a free agent, did not start his year in the big leagues. Eventually signing with the Twins and then traded quickly on to Seattle. Morales also 0 for 4 in last night's game. A game started by Brad Peacock, and he pitched very well.
Sure did. 6 strikeouts in those 5 innings. No walks.
For the moment, it seems like the Astros are in a position as this ball is scalded to right, but a nice jump by Marisnick to make the play. And a little peek at Brad Peacock, but it seems to me that the Astros are in a pretty good position to have 5 guys that might be locked into the rotation.
They're making very strong bids, that's for sure. You know, Keuchel, Oberholzer, Feldman, Peacock, McHugh. These are some pretty good names. They've done well on the course of the season. Last night I was very impressed with Peacock's fastball command to get to those 2-strike counts. And that would explain the no walks and the 6 strikeouts, obviously, but pretty impressive stuff. And he's done that. Or, sorry, 2 walks last night, but he's done a good job his last 3 or 4 starts too.
Curveball is in for a strike. To me, the confidence should be swelling for Brad Peacock.
Get to see Nick Tropiano tomorrow.
Yep. Max Stassi will be behind the plate, apparently. 1 year ago, Max Stassi was a name that was being talked about a lot, a young catcher, but didn't have the kind of season this year that he had a year ago. There's Max Stassi. Looks to me like he might be kind of grinding away on what he'll be calling for his right-hander tomorrow evening. It'll be one of those night games where the Astros then fly down to LA.
Brutal.
To the Orange County area. Where are we flying into tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't know if anything's going to be open that time of night. May have to fly into LAX.
Can't get into John Wayne after what, 11 o'clock at night?
Yeah. Just plan on an hour bus ride.
They either land in Los Angeles or in Long Beach and then bus on down.
Long Beach wouldn't be too bad, but
little tapper on the right side. Altuve from the outfield comes on and makes the play. A 1-2-3 second. 6 in a row retired by Colin McHugh.
.10 at midnight, only on Comcast Sportsnet. We welcome you back to Seattle, where Jimi Hendrix is from, and you've all heard the iconic rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner. Guess what? Mr. Hendrix played it with this guitar right here at Woodstock in 1969. How cool is this, guys?
Yeah, Julia, if you look at the strings on that guitar, they are flipped backwards, and that's what Jimi Hendrix did. He played a right-handed Stratocaster. Just flipped it over, and not easy to do that, especially when you get to the higher end of the strings, but one of the great guitarists of all time. And that's no doubt one of the Strats that got busted up by Jimmy.
Just no way to treat your instrument.
It seems like you need a little more tender care, at least if you're going to play it on the next evening.
I mean, I've never done that to any of my bats.
No, I'm sure.
No, only about 75 of them.
Were you one of those tunnel abusers?
On occasion. In my younger days, before I became a laid-back, easygoing.
I never would have guessed that with you.
Player. No, I could snap with the best of them.
Both sides looking to get on the board here this evening. We go to the third inning. Jonathan Villar gets the start at shortstop. He'll lead it off. He's the 9-hitter, so he'll be followed by Grossman and Altuve. And from the right side, he shoots one by Seager, who was drawn in. And down the line, digging around first base, Villar will head into second. A leadoff double here in the third inning.
Is that the baseball in left field or Seager's kneecap? That ball hit him. He was trying to get out of the way and didn't have enough time. This is a bullet from VR.
He's got a bullet-producing type of swing from the right side.
Wow.
That was in the air. That hadn't hit the ground off as it hit glove or wrist or something.
Why do they call it the hot corner?
Don't know. You could play all around the infield. How did third base?
It was a learning experience. Yeah. Well, you just don't have enough time to get your footwork right. Obviously, you can see when you're playing a guy in, it's even less time.
So VR at second. Robbie Grossman shows bunt and takes up and away. Was third base tougher for you than short or second?
Yes, by far. Easily the toughest position for me to play.
And primary reason?
Just how the rate of quickness when the ball gets down there. It's on you in a hurry. You don't have much time to get your feet ready. Rely a lot on just how good you are with the glove. I went to a bigger glove when I moved to third base.
Well, I think that's fair to say for most guys who play at short or second, where you have a little smaller glove, a little tighter, more compact pocket.
Well, if you move from the middle of the infield to the corners, you're moving gloves. Sometimes it's uncomfortable for guys. It's a transition having that bigger piece of leather on your hand.
Did you use the same leather at short and second?
What do you mean?
Same size glove, same glove if you played short or second?
Early on I did. At short and second I used the same glove on both sides. Yeah, when I moved to third base is when I got about a half an inch bigger. Most of it was to take away the pain from having no pocket in my glove. I needed a little more web to knock those things down, and I didn't have to worry about turning double plays.
I've known some guys that used a smaller glove at second and a little larger glove at short. Ground ball to third base. That's not going to move the runner up. Seager checks his runner and gets the out at first. Holding at second is VR, out number 1. What was the hardest play at third base for you?
Bullet hit right at me.
So tougher than that swing and bunt?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If I've got no time to get ready and I'm just up there with self-defense trying to snatch a bullet out of midair, that was not enjoyable at all. I'd gladly take the slow roller.
Jose Altuve at the plate. He's had an 0 for series.
Hence the reason you didn't pick him?
Well, that's not true. Just simply not true.
He's tearing up new guys.
You know what? I get the sense that you feel the same way I do. Altuve is such an easy guy to root for, and just love to see him win the batting title.
Well, he's an easy guy to pick. I didn't want to sell out and just go, I'm going to take the guy that has almost 200 hits. You know, that's an easy call.
Which you chose to go with last night.
How'd that go? I didn't go with him last night. We still don't have proof of this, and anything that pops up now is just going to be worthless because it's going to be fabricated.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? That's the word you're going to jump to.
I guarantee you.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, it's really sad when a guy can't stick to his guns.
I'll make my gun stick to you.
You know, if I wasn't concerned about it, I'd say let's see you bring it on. But there does seem to be a level of concern on my part.
No, I would never do that. This is good stuff.
Dexter Fowler waiting on deck. 1-2 the count on Altuve.
No, I did pick Altuve. He had great numbers against King Felix going into that game yesterday. Just King Felix was a little bit better yesterday.
Robinson Cano playing close to the bag at second. Cutting down that lead of VR. And now 2-2 the count. Of course, one of the big things with Altuve this year, leading to the success he's had, the way he's been able to handle left-hand pitching. He has just torn the lefties to pieces, hitting .417 as he starts the night. Still hit .313 against righties, but you talk about differentials, you're talking about just above 100 points. It's funny because I don't think of Altuve as a guy who just relies on left-hand pitching. It seems that he can handle anybody.
I agree.
You know what Jose Altuve's lifetime batting average is?
285.
4-year veteran, even 300.
Nice.
So now the count runs full. First base is open. Dexter Fowler waiting on deck. This is his 4th year in the big leagues. He had 276 his first year when he came up, 290 the following, 283 last year, but 338 this year has carried a lot of weight. Lifetime 300 batting average. if he plays all 3 games in Anaheim, and I certainly believe he will, as he hits one to Cano. That's out number 2 here in the inning. Altuve didn't even go all the way to first base, and I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, that was interesting.
To my point, if he plays all 3 games in Anaheim, game 2 will be number 500 on his career. Jose's not happy about something.
Wow, he is upset.
I wonder how much of that is that pressure that goes along with vying for the batting title at this time of year.
I think it was having a runner in scoring position, not picking him up.
Fowler takes a strike at the knees.
Because even with all these individual accolades that Altuve is going to be racking up by the end of the year, he is still a team player in everything he's done.
You know, it feels like Altuve's been around a while. We mentioned 4 years in the big leagues. 24 years of age.
Yeah, he's got a long future in baseball ahead of him.
You know who will turn 25 before Altuve? And I'm sure you could come up with a number of names.
Say
George Springer.
Yeah. Didn't even give me a chance.
Well,
Jeez.
It's not a fair question to throw out there. You could have said just about anything. One of your ball boy, ball girl friends down the lines. Fowler protects, fouls one down the right side.
Since you asked, we have Shelby down the right field line, Bailey's down the left.
And they are both how old?
22 and 23 respectively.
Nice.
There's Bailey. Just out of Bellevue, Washington, just across.
And you send out those birthday wishes every year to these folks?
Oh yeah, I'm good friends with the equipment managers who get these girls out there.
Fowler down on strikes. Second strikeout now for Elias, and that'll do it. The Astros strand a runner at third base, still scoreless.
Another offensive.
With youth baseball and softball leagues to offer the Future Astros program. The program's goal is to help encourage every child to participate in a sport and to help generate funds for every youth sports program in Texas. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS or email groupsales@astros.com. Guys.
Thanks, Julia. Julia, how fun was it over there at the Rock Museum, whatever it's called?
The EMP Museum. You would have loved it. It was really cool. The Nirvana exhibit was really cool. It was everything about it. Yeah, I'm a big music fan. I can't play, obviously. I can't play instruments, but I am a big music fan.
Actually,
so, yeah,
it looked like you got some pretty natural mad skills on the drums.
Don't lie.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, don't kid yourself. You're a tremendous slouch. I'm just kidding, Julia.
Sing for us, Plummer.
I will. Give me a good song, and I am on it. Ash won't press play on the tape cassette thing you brought up
true.
here.
That's not nice. It's an 8-track, pal.
Yeah.
First pitch of the inning, a strike.
Got to wind that thing up by hand first, don't you?
7-hitter Mike Zunino at the plate. I hear he's a respectful fella. Colin McHugh working his 3rd inning. Gets ahead 0-2. Zunino is, and we mentioned it last night, one of those real contrast in numbers types of players. He's a youngster, a very good catcher, throws well. Batting average 197. That would say maybe a rough year. But you look at the other numbers, and well, he brings a lot with the 20 home runs on the year.
He's got some impressive pop. He didn't spend much time down there in the minor leagues, and that's where you want to rack up most of your ABs. So he's a guy that's learning very quickly at the big league level.
OJT for Mike Zunino right off the end of the bat. Shift on. Altuve's over there and makes the play, out number 1.
We got a little choice, I think, going on with the tweet of the day, and I don't want everybody to tweet me. You see it at Blummer 27, and there's a competition between those two right there. Who has the better dance moves, Julia or Kawasaki? I don't know. He's getting the eyes in on the action too. Too legit on the left, and I'm not entirely sure what's going on the right.
Well, they say Kawasaki makes the good times roll, but I'm not so sure that I would pick that stuff over what Julia's got going on.
You guys put me up against some really tough competition here.
Oh, yeah.
I had you winning, Julia. I'm just going straight up. I don't even think the competition was close.
It's not even close. Yeah, we're a little biased, but yeah. My vote's going for Julia.
Wait,
for sure.
what was the Twitter question?
Who's better? Who did a better job? Yeah.
Oh, no.
I didn't come up with it. That's all I'm saying, but I know who I'm voting for.
Are you offended by that question just simply being posed?
No, not at all. But I don't know if better's a good word. Who's worse, maybe? I don't know. We're both pretty bad.
You were rocking it pretty hard.
We shall see. We may have to see that a couple more times, just to be sure.
Hot shot foul down the left field side. Michael Saunders at the plate. Sits safely in 5 straight.
Oh, no.
Take another peek at it. There you go. That's like old school MC Hammer on the left right there.
I am dancing to MC Hammer.
Yeah, too legit
there
to quit.
I can't watch this.
What? Kawasaki, what is he wiping off his face? That was,
I don't know, but right after that is when he goes into the eye moves, and I think Julia's going to have to work on those.
Well, the early returns from a couple have said it's too close to call.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, who's making that kind of? See, that's just not right. That's all I've got to say. It's not right. 2-2 hit in the air, center field. Very easy for Dexter Fowler, who comes on. He'll make the catch. 2 down in the 3rd inning. See if Kawasaki's got anything on his own.
He's entertaining. I mean, we've seen Julia do the little hand dance, but keep a close look in the eyes here. Right in this region right here. And watch, all of a sudden he gets a little goofy with it. Yeah, it's not even close for me.
No, it's not close. See Edwin Encarnacion along with other teammates in the background there enjoying Kawasaki. And I don't think it was in the sense of, boy, is he good. Ground ball on a hop back to the mound. Brad Miller will be tossed out. A 1-2-3 third. That's 9 in a row retired by Colin McHugh.
scoreless ball game at Safeco Field between the Astros and Mariners. We move to the fourth. Chris Carter is who we will see first, who was talking earlier about his parents who watch every game, guys, so we need to give them a shout out. But he was talking about how they're really happy to see his season turn around. They're, of course, with him through thick and thin, but earlier this season they were giving him some tough love. He said that's just the way they are, and some competitive parents that he has, but he loves them to death, and was sharing about how excited they are for him, as everyone else is, what Carter's been able to do lately, guys.
Yeah, without a doubt. Can you imagine being the parent of somebody in the major leagues and then watching them turn into a guy vying for the home run title, especially in a year that started so rough as it did for Carter?
I love that his parents are on that ride with him. I think that's a great thing.
Next one just away. 2-0 the count.
Kudos to Mr. Carter for encouraging this young man, because this turned out to be quite the season.
Pretty special.
I'd put him on the payroll. Where's Jeff Luhnow?
Just outside again. 3-0. See that glance? Is that Carter?
Yep.
Glancing down to see if he gets the green light. 3-0 pitch. Taken for a strike. So many hitters are just uncomfortable about the 3-0. Carter's had some success with it this year. Roenis Elias, first year in the big leagues. There's a 3-1 change and a good one. Elias, no cakewalk, just 140 hits allowed in 155 innings. Base hit into left field right off the end of the bat of Carter. He breaks his stick, but a leadoff single brings up Jason Castro.
And that's part of the success of Chris Carter, is being able to hit a 3-2 changeup right now. Yeah, it's elevated. Yeah, he probably saw it a little bit long, but the fact that his hand stayed back is why he's having such a good second half. He is a completely different hitter from what we saw the first 3 months.
Well, you said it. The pitch was up, yeah. And you might think, well, you should hit it anyway. But 2.5 months ago and last year, no chance on that.
No, we could have pulled up tape from those first 2-3 months, and that pitch is swung and missed about 15-20 times. Not now. Confidence has a lot to do with it, too. Just watch his hands get back there, and then he recognizes. The hips go a little bit, but the hands are back. Strong enough to just doink it in there to left field.
Keeps the eyes and head down on the baseball very well.
Well, just see how quiet they are. Yeah. His head is so quiet, and what I mean by quiet, it's not moving towards the ball. It's great.
It's a term the players will use consistently.
John Maley right there is a lot of hard work, dedication with that guy.
Without question. Castro fouls one again down the left side. Castro drew a walk. Came with 1 out in the second inning. He got as far as second base in that second inning. Jonathan Villar had a leadoff double in the third. He got as far as third base, but it's still a scoreless ball game here in the fourth. There are a lot of folks here in the Seattle area that have not caught on to the fact that the Seattle Mariners have got a great chance to get into postseason.
You ain't lying.
Strike 3 called. Castro caught looking. Third strikeout for Elias. First out here in the fourth inning. So with 1 out, it brings up Jake Marisnick. And we saw some of the numbers on Elias earlier about how tough he's been on left-hand hitters. Marisnick flied to center field, his only at bat. Jake now hitting .243. It is the 5th of 6 series on the season between the Astros and Mariners. Seattle has won 9 of the first 14 meetings. 2 more here, counting tonight's game. And 3 coming up back in Houston. Just 1 more homestand for the Astros. Cleveland Indians and Seattle Mariners coming in, and that's going to do it. Starts next Monday. Ground ball left side. Great play by Miller. He'll get it out at second. That's all they'll get. But that is some kind of spectacular defense.
Tough luck for Marisnick. Smoked that ball. Just fantastic play from the shortstop. So Marisnick get on top, tomahawk that thing, trying to get it through that 5.5 hole. Played that hop perfectly as he went into that dive. Beautiful. You see him starting that dive, kept his eye on that ball, and when it hopped up, just moved the glove right towards it. Made a great play.
With that great play, 2 outs. John Singleton at the plate. 1 for 1. Got himself a base hit to left field in the second. Oh, and 1 the count. Check of Marisnick. He runs well. And I think that's one of the things that brings hope, is that Marisnick, as a big guy, runs so well, and a guy that, like Springer, might bring a lot of stolen base impact to the ball club in the future. Big John Singleton. When might he, like Chris Carter, really find it? And then I guess you could say, are we ready to say that Chris Carter has gotten as good as he can get? Home runs? Well, he's certainly in a great range. Is he a guy that might hit for a much higher batting average? Here's a drive, deep right field, back at the wall. This one is, I believe, out of here. No call yet. Throw to the plate with Marisnick coming, and he's in there. Jake Marisnick scores on what, for the moment, is a ball in the ballpark. It's a 1-0 Houston lead, and we'll have to see if this eventually is going to draw a review. To me, it looked like a ball that got out of here.
Well, you know why they didn't call it a home run? Because of the episode we saw last night on Robbie Grossman's home run, or triple. Ball smoked. It wasn't elevated very much, but it gives you a pretty good idea of how hard Singleton can hit a line drive and how far he can hit it. And it looks like that one hits the yellow on the top of the right field fence.
Yes, it does.
Stays in the ballpark, so a good no call at first base.
Yeah, that's a perfect
But either
call.
way, I guarantee you, if that thing hit behind the fence and came back, they were still going to let the play just play out.
Well, we talked about that before the game, and that ultimately is the best way to play that. They're going to check this when it's all said and done. They're going to see the umpires talking about. We'll see what we just saw.
Did they rule it a double or triple so far?
Well,
double in advance.
I would
throw?
assume double be my call. But a run has scored. It's a 1-0 Houston lead. Into third base is John Singleton. That was your basic rope.
Yeah, that thing was hung out for a while. It's good that they're checking. They've got to these days, because you never really know. But I guarantee you the first reaction of the first base umpire, Pat Hoberg, was to just play it out, boys.
Yeah.
We'll figure out if it's a home run, then you trot around.
Which was the mistake the other way for the umpires last night.
Exactly.
So there's your RBI double, I believe, for John Singleton. We'll see how they have officially ruled this.
And that was not a Tom Lawless challenge or an Astros challenge. That was an umpire checking on the call.
So the Astros strike first tonight. John Singleton drives it in. For Singleton, RBI number 44. And it gives Matt Dominguez a shot to give the Astros another run.
Such a good bat path. Things are starting to come around. We talked about hopefully he has a good finish to the season. But that was, when you say that's a laser beam, that's exactly what we're talking about right there.
Double number 12 for Singleton. That breaking ball popped up. Backing is Cano. He's under and makes the catch. That'll do it. But Houston gets a run on a pair of hits in the 4th inning as they leave a man.
At Minute Maid Park with the Coca-Cola Value Days package available with specially marked Coke products. The package includes a ticket, hot dog, popcorn, and bottled Coke for just $16. Visit Astros.com for more info. Guys, catching up with Colin McHugh yesterday, was happy to be back in Seattle, happy to be back in this ballpark, has good memories from that start back in April, but he's ready to get back at this team who roughed him up a little bit in his last 2 starts, giving up those 10 earned runs in just 10 innings in those 2 combined starts. And was talking about the 3 and 4 hitters in this club. Robinson Cano, Kyle Seager. He said these are 2 of the toughest outs in the game, especially back-to-back right there. You cannot make mistakes. You have to be able to execute your pitches against those guys.
Well, execute he has. He's retired 9 in a row tonight. He's got just 1 strikeout. That was Robinson Cano in the 1st inning. Gets ahead on the leadoff man, Austin Jackson. So it's Jackson, Chavez, and Cano here in this 4th.
We've seen some Astro players have some pretty good series, pretty good games up here in Seattle over the last 2 years. Didn't Singleton have a multi-home run game? And he had a pretty good series when he was healthy and he came through here. And those rainbow Alan Ashby uniforms.
Well, that's when
you're feeling the flow.
George Springer.
Had that's what I was talking about. He had one multi-home run game in there. I know that for sure.
And then went on to Kansas City. Was that part of that same trip, or was that?
I think it was part of that same trip. That was a great road trip.
Boy, that was a.
I wasn't here for that. You were here with Mike Stanton.
Yes,
enjoying that.
Well, that's the one where in Kansas City. You were in KC, though.
I met you guys there.
Yeah, that's when George just continued to go off. Ground ball left side. VR with a great diving stop. Can't get him. Too much speed from Austin Jackson. And there's the first hit of the night for Seattle. Leadoff single here in the 4th inning. But a great effort by VR.
Really was. Did a great job of getting over there. We don't see this too often from Jonathan, laying out and coming up with it, but did a great job right here. Made this play extremely close. But Austin Jackson beats it out easy with those wheels.
Nice to see from VR. He's had so many issues defensively. But as we've said so many times from last year, the tools are there. He is loaded in that department. Andy Chavez at the plate. Infield shallows up. VR and Altuve. We saw late in the game last night for Seattle, James Jones came on as a pinch runner. Stole a couple of bags. I'm a bit surprised he's not part of this outfield every day for Seattle. A 1-1 count on Chavez. Chavez hitting .279. A couple of home runs. He's not a big home run hitter. Outfield shades just a bit toward left.
It's a pretty good pitch by Castro.
Yeah, on a breaking ball where logic says you should be down blocking, but that over the top curveball, that's that area that has seen a lot of balls get by, and you wonder kind of what's going on. 2-1. Jackson goes. The pitch grounded back up the middle. Right there, VR at the bag. He steps on it and gets the double play. 6 unassisted, 3. And that ground ball could not have set up any better for the Astros.
2-1 is an action count in the big leagues. And you've got your leadoff man, Austin Jackson, at first, who runs pretty well. You send him on the pitch. Endy Chavez handles the bat well, but right now, just terrible placement by Endy Chavez. Couldn't have been. Probably wouldn't have gotten a better feed from Altuve on that ground ball.
So the leadoff single by Jackson, followed up with the double play ground ball. Base is empty now. 2 outs for Robinson Cano. Line drive to left field on that first pitch. Robbie Grossman. Nice jump, makes the play. That'll do it. Just 3 hitters faced in the 4th inning. But Seattle does finally have a base hit against McHugh.
Here's a look at our upcoming schedule presented by Progressive. One more here in Seattle, and of course it's a night game getaway day. I'm sure the Astros will take advantage of it. Have time to sleep in on that day off on Thursday before starting a series against the AL West leading Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim for a weekend set before heading back home for that last homestand. 4 against the Tribe and then 3 more against the Seattle Mariners.
George Springer, they say, is closer and closer to being able to get back into action.
Better get some rest.
Yeah, looks like it.
Grief.
Hope that is a result of all the hard work being put in now and trying to get back in the lineup.
You know how it is when you're not in the lineup and you're on the DL. I mean, it just
drives you crazy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's a challenge. 1-0 Houston.
And being as young as he is, it's got to be driving him crazy.
RBI double by John Singleton. Plated Jake Marisnick, who reached on a fielder's choice. Jonathan VR 1 for 1 on his night. Had a double to start the third inning. Just a hot rocket at third base. Couldn't tell if it hit the glove, wrist, some part of the body or equipment of Kyle Seager.
May have gone through him.
2-1 the count. Has not been a kind year to Jonathan VR. 203 the batting average. Ups and downs. Great start to the year defensively, and then it turned south. 2-2 on Jonathan.
Nice changeup.
Strikes. Boy, Elias can really utilize the changes speed, spots it well.
Still a little bit harder than I anticipated. Going right around 93 miles an hour with his heater, and that changeup coming in at 85 miles an hour. But the location also on that changeup proving to be quite effective. Outside corner to right-handed hitters.
Combination of pitches has picked up 4 strikeouts tonight. Back to the top with Robbie Grossman. Robbie hits one shallow in the air. Robinson Cano going out and can't make the play. It'll drop. And that's a base hit for Robbie Grossman. Robinson Cano has that very casual style. And when he doesn't make the play, it can tend to look like not the best of efforts.
I don't know. To me, it looked like he was going to get it, but you can see out of the right-hand part of your screen, Michael Saunders runs really well. I think about right there is when Robinson Cano could kind of feel the footsteps coming at him and kind of alligator-armed it a little bit, not knowing where that right fielder was, because those 2 big men, they collide right there. That could cause some issues for a team contending for a wild card.
You think there's a difficulty in calling off a Robinson Cano if you're Michael Saunders?
No, I don't think so.
See a lot of times when Altuve, who's at the plate now, 0 for 2 on his night, goes after a pop fly down the right field side. There have been issues over the past couple of seasons at times. Altuve hits one in the air and very well left center field, back at the track, at the wall, and a heck of a play. Austin Jackson gets there and backhands it. And as the throw comes back in, Robbie Grossman had a long way to dig to get back to first. So Altuve 0 for 3 on the night after this outstanding play by Jackson.
That was a great play by Austin Jackson. Sure, this reminded a lot of older Seattle Mariner fans of a young center fielder that took over for Ken Griffey Jr. and Mike Cameron, because this is how he used to go get him too. What a great job. I almost thought he was going to deke Robbie Grossman by putting his glove up there, but he was actually putting it up because he knew he had it. That was a great play. Robbie Grossman was almost halfway to third base, had to stop, turn around.
And of course, Robbie had to go back through second. Now he's picked off, and they'll get him 1-3-4 on the play, caught stealing Robbie Grossman, and that'll do it. The Astros wind up sending only 3 to the plate, but lead it 1-0. free nights, free electricity all year long. Now with even more free hours, call 1-866-CALL-TXU. Downtown Seattle. Great place. Very pleasant with the temperatures right about now. Kind of cool during the day.
You know, if that's the I-5 right there, we could just take it all the way down to Anaheim.
You want to go that way rather than...
Yeah,
I'll go ahead and jump on the team flight.
Be a scenic route.
You drive it on down, and we'll see how
things go.
I'll get there
by game time.
Yeah, a day later, that's right. Kyle Seager, the cleanup man for Seattle, leads off in the 5th inning. How about that play by Austin Jackson on the drive by Altuve?
Very impressive.
Seager takes the ball away, 1-0 the count. Seager flied to left field in the 2nd inning. Mariners with just one base hit, infield single by Austin Jackson, who was then doubled up on a ground ball hit by Andy Chavez. Fortunate play for Houston. $11,345 tonight.
Good for them. We get to watch some good baseball.
For those who showed up, yeah. Dribbler in front of the plate. Colin McHugh on it quickly. Will bare hand and get the out, and out number 1.
Change up? Change up. But yeah, Astro pitchers, you don't take them for granted on the bump.
Defensively,
they get around and make some plays.
Yeah. Well, that's getting out. There is the change up grip, no question.
Great pitch down the zone.
Yeah.
That's some good downward action to it, too.
You know, with that result, that ought to be a little more in the repertoire maybe for Colin McHugh.
Get that kind of action on it, I'd say so.
Go in and bare hand that ball, and a lot of times you just don't get the best of grips. That throw was a bit high, but still within reason. Kendrys Morales now at the plate, line to right field in the 2nd, and takes a strike.
Yeah, you saw in that replay. Let's see the amount of mud that was on that ball.
Yes.
Out in front of home plate, most ballparks in the big leagues today will just absolutely drench that front part of the front area of home plate.
Why is that?
Get that ground ball, keep the ball down. Don't get those big colossal chops.
So what if your home staff, the pitching staff, is a fly ball type staff, or on a given night,
soak it.
Still soak it.
Soak it, just in case. Yeah, this region right here will be absolutely drenched.
John Madden is good, isn't he?
He is, man. Got to use them when you got them. But yeah, the first hop, it never jumps off there. It slows it down a little bit too.
2-1 on Morales. 5th inning, a 1-0 Houston lead. Ground ball right side from the outfield grass. Altuve will kick it. And reaching with 1 out is Kendrys Morales. It's an E4. Altuve charged with the error.
Back on that outfield grass, sometimes you're going to get some funky hops. Watch where the second or that third hop kind of hits the back edge. You see it. Wow, that was a great replay. You see it kind of skip.
Yep.
Off that back edge. 1, 2, and then stays down. And that's the one that eats you up sometimes, because if it stays down like that, you get the in-between hop, and you saw that it handcuffed Altuve.
Error number 10 for Jose.
That's a knock in Oakland.
For the home club.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
We saw some. We were
That was
turning our heads going, huh?
Yeah, it was some bad scorekeeping we saw in that series. Or unusual scorekeeping.
I don't mind the home field calls, but some of them were pretty awkward.
You know what bothers me, though, is when a club or two get those home field calls and it aids their hitters to where it looks like, or even the pitchers for that matter, looks like their players are better than other guys. Logan Morrison at the plate, hitting .237. First baseman for the M's. Ground ball off the glove of Colin McHugh. They'll get an out at first base as Altuve comes on and makes the play. 1-4-3 on that out. Moving into second is Morales. Get your running shoes out and join us for the Badges and Bases 10K, 5K run on Saturday the 27th at Minute Maid Park. That's presented by the Astros and Houston Police Foundations. There's also a kids fun run for ages 12 and under. Participants will receive a commemorative t-shirt. Register at astros.com/race. So 2 down. Morales in scoring position. It's going to take more than a single to score him. Do you disagree?
That's just not nice.
Yeah, I've had it said about me. So.
Oh, that's great.
Mike Zunino at the plate. It wasn't his best swing.
Gosh, you're just laying into guys.
Yeah, for the moment.
Would a single off the wall get Kendricks in?
Yeah, that might get it done.
Okay. That was a good one. You waited a while to break that one out. I was back on my heels.
Did you ever fail to score on a
Well, I've been thrown
long
out, but
single line where
no,
you just felt like, man, I've got to be able to score on that one?
I'm sure I have. I'm going to say no, though.
We can't verify, so
yeah. No. Again. I've been held up quite a few times. I know that.
Me as well.
It's funny you said. We were playing a home game in Minute Maid Park, and Hunter Pence was on second base. Mark Loretta was on third base. And I hit a bullet to left field, and you know how shallow it is there in Minute Maid Park. But Loretta comes in, and he kind of had to hold because it was a line drive.
Down on strikes, Mike Zunino. We will have to wait to hear the rest of that story from Jeff Blum. We played 5 innings, 1-0. Houston on top of the M's.
Lead over Seattle. Come celebrate Fiestas Patrias Street Fest, presented by United Airlines on Saturday, September 20th, outside Minute Maid Park for live music, food, and fun for all ages. The Street Fest is open to all fans and will be on Crawford Street beginning at 3 p.m. before the Astros and Mariners play at 6:10. Guys.
Thanks, Julia. To the 6th inning we go. Astros on top, 1-0 in a well-pitched ball game. Colin McHugh and Roenis Elias. Elias will face the 3-4-5 hitters, Dexter Fowler, Chris Carter, and Jason Castro here in the 6th inning. The Astros have just 5 hits on the night. Jose Altuve does not have one of those hits right now. 0 for 3 on his evening. Dexter Fowler is 0 for 2. A little tapper past the mound coming on Cano. He'll make the play in out number 1. That little submarine toss can make him so effective, but that got in the neighborhood of being tough at first base.
God, he gets so much velocity on that ball, and that's a tough angle for a first baseman. A good job. He goes after it with the glove, but that's a seed right there and a good play by Logan Morrison over there at first.
You get that close to another teammate and then put something on it, and it's lockdown time.
Yeah, it's handcuffs.
One out for Carter. Seattle not playing the entire shift on the infield on Carter. And we've seen Carter at times, especially when he's swinging the bat well. He can go through the right side. Chris is 1 for 2. Batting average at .237. Hanging at 36 home runs on his terrific season.
There's a chance to hit 40 home runs and hit 240 plus in the batting average.
Well, that'd be a
really
good year. Big swing. It's a 2-1 count. That changeup has really played big for Elias. Astros trying to pick up win number 64 on the year. 51. That was the total from last year. Seattle Mariners at 79 and 64. 15 games over 500. I didn't imagine that was going to be the case this year for Seattle. And yet Lloyd McClendon and his staff have done a whale of a job. One out walk to Carter. He's aboard for Jason Castro.
Carter doing a good job of laying off those changeups too.
He's obviously seeing the baseball very well.
Good call by you, by the way.
Say what?
Castro's got a couple more ABs, but you're looking good so far. You picked Chris Carter.
He's reached 2 out of 3 plate appearances.
Prime timer.
You know what? I actually threw out the name Jonathan Villar, who has a double on the night.
Yeah.
John Singleton should have been the pick.
Might have been a little tough to call.
See no reason why.
Now.
Well.
So we can change those. That's it. We're playing in that fantasy league where you can pick the guys doing better.
It's 2020, pal.
It always is.
1-0 to Castro, hit through the right side. That's a base hit. Your man has reached twice tonight. Stopping at second is Carter. 1 out single for Castro brings up Jake Marisnick.
Nice.
You are right back in the ball game.
Nice. We start having guys petition us. Good piece of hitting by Castro. Another hit off a left-handed pitcher for him. Squeeze that one through that 4-hole over there on the right side. Some action now for the Astros here with 1 out.
So for Castro and Singleton, I think the big question is what is going on with left-hand pitching on the mound, and how can they incorporate that against the righties?
Oddly enough, I asked John Maley about that as you see the Seattle Mariner bullpen get going.
Rick Waits, pitching coach, going out to the mound and not speeding his course out there.
Yeah, that mustache got a little bit longer on the way out.
You know, he's had that since his playing days.
Much like trainer Rex Jones for the Houston Astros. But what I was going to say is I actually talked to John Maley about, you know, how do you explain this? What's going on? Because shouldn't they do a little bit better against pitchers when all the off-speed pitches might be coming towards them on the sliders and breaking balls? And he said it was because of that left-on-left matchup. It forces them to keep that front shoulder in longer.
Okay, so you get a little stronger against the lefties that way, but can you not incorporate that then and
well,
think that same thing against the right-handers?
But mentally you're not telling yourself every time you're facing a right-hander, I got to keep it in so I see the ball longer. I mean, you should, but when you see a left-on-left, you're like, oh, I really got to keep that front shoulder in.
Ball hit in the air, left center field, coming on and getting there, Austin Jackson. Second out in the inning. Marisnick flies out. 2 down for John Singleton.
Here's our Mako big hit of the game. It's off this young man's bat. We're talking about that left-on-left approach. Kept the front shoulder in nicely and threw it right into his barrel, and he turned on it and hit a taser off that right field wall. Lucky it's still standing, and Marisnick did a great job of coming around, scoring that first Astros run. Another millimeter, he's got a 2-run jack.
So he's still stuck at 13 home runs on the year. Two for two on the night, John Singleton. And now a chance to maybe pick up some runs for the ball club. Breaking ball deemed to have caught the outside corner.
For those of you thinking, what would it take to get John Singleton to at least 200 by the end of the season? You're asking for a lot. He's got 281 plate appearances or at bats right now.
Big wild swing and miss. 0-2 the count.
He would have to get extremely hot with that many at bats to accrue that many points to get up over 200, I would believe, in the next 18 games, 17 after today.
I thought you were going to bring some specifics there.
No, I'm not that good. I can speculate with the best of them.
He's got tonight, 18 games to play with tonight's game. He's picked up 2 hits tonight. That's a lot of work to get done.
Yeah.
Half swing. Field to third and palms down. So that tag that was applied very quickly by Zunino pays no dividends. See the bat start.
John seemed too convinced. It looks like it might have held up at the front edge. Wrist didn't break.
Mark Carlson down at third base making that call. Breaking ball hit on the ground. Gloved at first by Morrison. He'll turn and feed onto Elias. Not in time. Run coming to the plate. And it's going to score. Chris Carter comes all the way in from second base on the infield ground ball. John Singleton has his 3rd hit of the night. His 2nd RBI. And it's a 2-0 Houston lead.
Ball smoked. Taking advantage of that one extra swing. Hit a bullet. I think, with the left-hander falling off towards third base, you see him, and then he's got to hesitate and get going towards first. John Singleton had his head down the entire time going to first base, and I think just that little bit of a high throw is what may have snuck John Singleton in there. We'll take another look at it. Wow. Is that the first tie of the season? That was pretty darn close to a tie, isn't it?
That's really close, isn't it?
Well, let's assume for the time being, they're going to check on this with the review guys back in New York. But for the time being, we can talk about how Pat Listash was waving Chris Carter around third base just in case a situation like that came about. Because Chris Carter scored easy.
You've been the base runner at second base, and many times that third base coach will alert you. Keep coming on that last ground ball to the infield.
Well, I think a lot of good base runners know ahead of time, too, realizing it's 2 outs, the ball's hit on the ground. I'm going to put my head down until somebody stops me.
We're getting a look at the ballpark at that play at first base. Boy, they had that down to frame by frame.
I was going to say, what, didn't they, though?
And I think on that one, Elias might have won the race.
There it is. That's a great angle.
You know what? This may get overturned.
Yeah, that's the shot right there. They're showing it on the big screen here. Let's see what they say. Yep, they agree.
Yeah, the fans like the out call. See if the umpires overturn this. That really comes down to that most minute of fractions at first base, and they have reversed it. It is an out, 3-1, and that second run does not cross the plate. So Singleton erased for the first time tonight. That'll do it for Houston. Still 1-0 Astros.
Rewind. All about Colin McHugh having himself a pretty good night again here in the city of Seattle, where he loves to pitch. Getting some key ground balls in some key situations. Showing a good slider. Good changeup, good breaking ball. Has it all working right now and getting his revenge against these Seattle Mariners, who, for the 2 past starts Colin McHugh's had against them, put up 10 runs total. 5 innings pitched, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. Lowering that ERA. It's coming into tonight, it was at 2.89. Right now, 2.78. So this number's dropping quite nicely.
There's a list of guys that have had large impacts on clubs that are in the races. You look at the Angels. Matt Shoemaker has been
right
great.
there.
Giordano with KC. Boy, there's
some electric arms.
Ace Ventura. To the bottom of the 6th we go. 1-0 Houston. Astros about hit him 6-1. An infield single. That's it for Seattle. And he was doubled up on the ground ball by Andy Chavez. That was Austin Jackson with the hit. And now bottom 2 in the order. Michael Saunders, Brad Miller, followed by Austin Jackson. That other base runner, Kendry Morales, reached on the E4. Altuve kicked a ground ball in right field. Colin McHugh, you can say it over and over about him all season long. When that finger has been minus the blister or the avulsion, whatever has gone on for him, it's been spectacular. And I think it's fair to say it came out of left field this year. Drive to right, back at the track. Marisnick at the wall, he'll make the catch. So a towering drive by Saunders comes up just shy, and out number 1 in the 6th.
Just a long out. It was dangerous there for a little while.
You can't tell from the mound. You can hope and plead. And Colin McHugh, he realizes he just got away with one. 1 out for Brad Miller. Miller was the guy that had the big hit for Seattle last night. Scalding a line drive over Marisnick. Drove in a pair. Played some nice defense as well at shortstop. I find Colin McHugh one of the most intriguing stories for the Astros this year. Coming out of nowhere and taking over and locking down one of the spots in the rotation.
It's got to be one of the bigger surprises in all of baseball.
And how many people have used the line Colin McHugh?
Can't use that anymore, can you?
No, you can't. You really can't. It's not fair. "27 years of age, Colin McHugh." There's that nice job on the curveball by Castro.
McHugh is 2nd in strikeouts for rookies, only behind Odorizzi for Tampa Bay.
And that includes Tanaka.
Yes.
Fly ball shallow in center field, right off the fists of Miller. Handled by Fowler, and 2 down here in the 6th.
Going into tonight's game, Odorizzi for Tampa Bay had 166 strikeouts. Colin McHugh 2nd with 140. And then Elias for Seattle, 3rd on that list with 138 coming into tonight's game. And Tanaka was 4th with 135.
Masahiro Tanaka had gotten off to that great start for the Yankees. Looked like he was going to run away and hide in the Rookie of the Year balloting. Might even be a guy that would vie for Cy Young Award. But then injuries to the arm. Says he's starting to feel better, and there's some talk in New York that he might be back before the end of the year. But it looks like it's going to be too late for the Yankees.
Yeah.
Ground ball left side, diving stop. VR fires and got him. What a play by Jonathan VR. He gets the speed of Austin Jackson, and it was the same type of play that yielded the only hit for Seattle. Enjoy this kind of defensive work.
Over the Seattle Mariners. Follow all the pennant races with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Get live look-ins, replay reviews, stats, highlights, the MLB.TV game of the day, and more. Get this award-winning app for your smartphone or tablet for the rest of the season for only $9.99. Visit the App Store or MLB.com today. You need to go out and wait in line for your new iPhone 6. Ash?
Yeah, I'm not big on that waiting in line thing.
You got people to do that for you?
Oh, yeah, I send them out. They go weeks in advance.
Yep, got to get that good spot in line.
You're loaded up, right?
Yeah, there's not much more. If the phone, I've hit my limit. It's
kind of as good as it's going to get for a while, right?
Well, I'm getting the most out of my phone right now. If I get any more options on there, I'm going to explode.
Jeff Blum basically lives on the phone anymore, and so. I mean, you're doing it all there.
I have to.
Yeah.
I've got good hands. Now I got to figure out what to do with them.
From what I've been able to see, you figured out what to do.
Try to.
How about Colin McHugh? He's pitched 6 shutout innings tonight. He's got an ERA on the season now at 2.76. How about that?
Rookie of the Year votes. Throw him into that good time mix for some guys that might get some notoriety at the end of the year.
I wonder how many of the voters are kind of sitting around looking and thinking they know who they're going to vote for. Jose Abreu is just off the charts. I mean, he's an easy winner. In my book, he should be the MVP in the league.
His numbers are electric.
But let's talk about the also-rans in the Rookie of the Year voting. And Colin McHugh has got to be among the leaders.
He's going to get some votes, yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean, as the voters look around and they start to see what Colin McHugh's doing and they say, hey, this guy's having a big-time year.
Well, the win-loss record, he has a chance to come out of here with a 500 record. If the score stays the way it is here, he'd be 9-9 on the season. But then that ERA you're talking about being at a 2.76, I think, for the time being, and add the strikeouts that he's got to those numbers. Wow.
Drive to left center field. Austin Jackson on the move again. Austin Jackson has been all over that gap in left center field. Out number one. Matt Dominguez flies out. It'll bring up Jonathan Villar, who has just made a gem at shortstop as he robbed Austin Jackson a bid for a second hit on the night.
But is Villar going to be that guy that does just enough to make you go, oh man, he's almost there? Or
it's kind of been the story to this point, right?
Yeah, because we know it's there. We've talked about the tools endlessly about Jonathan Villar.
Well, look at what he can do.
The arm is there.
Good
the
arm
feet.
strength. Yeah.
He laid out. We haven't seen the amazing play too often from him, but we know it's there.
Last year, my contention was that when he would try to lay out or even get close to it on either side, the ball would hit the glove and drop. And now tonight he's made that play twice.
You know what happens sometimes is those guys, they anticipate getting up and making the play before they actually have the baseball.
Little tapper, first base side of the mound, handled by Elias. 2 outs easily here in the 7th inning.
Carson Smith is now on the mound.
Carson Smith, excuse me, now has taken over for Seattle. So Elias done with his night. 6 very good innings. I was looking at some more of the pitchers in the American League, and some of the guys having great years. Chris Sale, Felix Hernandez, Corey Kluber, I think are the first 3 names that come to mind for me of guys that are going to vie for that Cy Young Award. John Lester's been very good. Garrett Richards, you and I both loved him, but he's down now with that knee injury.
Yeah, it was too bad to see him come out of there, but then another rookie steps in for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, and Shoemaker.
But then Dallas Keuchel's in that conversation. Hisashi Iwakuma here with Seattle is 6th in ERA. Dallas Keuchel is 7th. But whoa, wait a minute. Colin McHugh. I don't think he has the innings to be able to qualify right now. But he's got an ERA that would slot right now right behind Garrett Richards. He would be 6th best in the league. Breaking ball just away on Robbie Grossman, who gets away with it. 2-2.
Well, we've hit on some of the numbers. It has definitely been the year of the pitcher. There's been some guys putting up some great numbers. Offensively, some of these guys have been taking a beating because of that. But these are all, I mean, there's some new names, there's some old names, but some good pitchers all the way around.
2-2 pitch. Got looking is Robbie Grossman. So he's down on strikes. 5 strikeouts of Astros hitters on the night. A 1-2-3 7th. 1-zip Houston.
Nothing Astros over the Mariners. And our Geico quote of the day is from Tom Lawless on Playing to Win. He said, "We're going to try to win the game. Bottom line, while we're playing these so-called teams that are in the playoff hunt, it's not fair to everybody else." And for Lawless, he was saying that the first day he met with media named interim manager, and you might think a lot of pressure on a guy like this as the Astros are in search for a new manager. And he said he wasn't going to look at it like that. He knows that he is kind of in an audition every day that he comes to the park and every day that he manages his ball club from here to the end of the season, but that's not something that he is thinking about. He hasn't had any conversations with anyone about putting his name in just yet. He said he's going to let it play out and see what happens after the season, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Julia. I was asking Tom today if he was having his interview right now as the manager, and he said maybe so. But like Julia says, no conversations at this point. But he's been an impressive guy here for about a week.
It's done good, yeah. And it's interesting. Yeah, you're going to go out there and try and play to win, but there's also some other guys on this roster and in that bullpen that you want to go out there and see how they compete, get them some big league experience. But at the same time, you know, what a lot of people won't talk about is that other teams around the league, yeah, you're playing some contenders, but there's also some other contenders across the league that are going, hey, man, why don't you run your best players out there and maybe help us out in the same token?
Yeah, that's a good point, and I think
would hate to get that label that you're rolling over and just having a spring training September.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking in the last half inning about Colin McHugh and Dallas Keuchel and how they've pitched and whether Colin McHugh gets some intrigue with the votes in terms of the Rookie of the Year this year. And I think you completely agree that he will. The one-loss record comes in a bit, but does it mean anything when you're pitching for the Houston Astros?
Well, do they take that into account?
Yeah.
Understanding what he's done and pitching in the American League West, saying something.
Yes, it does.
Pitching in the American League period, that's saying something.
Down on strikes to start the inning. Andy Chavez first out in the seventh. Just the third strikeout for Colin McHugh, but what a dominant performance. He's allowed one hit, a leadoff infield single by Austin Jackson in the fourth inning, and that's been it against Colin McHugh. One other base runner, Henry Morales, reached on an E4 back in the fifth inning. There's been one double play turn behind Colin, so he's faced just one over the limit to this point. Pretty outstanding evening. Robinson Cano at the plate, has struck out and lined out. And just to kind of finish, a point that I feel when you're talking about Colin McHugh and Dallas Keuchel and the work they've done with their ERAs. Keuchel seventh among qualifiers in the American League, and Colin McHugh not quite qualifying yet, but he would be even in front of that figure. Jam shot ground ball on the right side. Singleton on to Colin McHugh. 2 outs in the seventh, and to get the story in, so a couple of the names that really stand out for me, and maybe even a few, that these two pitchers for the Astros are actually in front of in the American League. Yu Darvish, last year's Cy Young Award winner Max Scherzer, and James Shields.
Nice.
So you know, those are some big-time names, and that's how well these guys are pitching. Two outs in the seventh. Kyle Seager at the plate. Activity now in the Astros bullpen.
So what you're saying is that by the end of the season, if Keuchel continues to pitch extremely well, as his ERA could drop underneath that 3 mark, the Astros could have 2 guys in their rotation with a sub-3 ERA.
Which I think is phenomenal. Wow. Yeah. And again, you can look through the names. The names are impressive. But among those names are Dallas Keuchel and Colin McHugh. Ball and a strike. Seager is flied out and grounded out. If you had a vote and you were voting today, who's the Cy Young Award winner in the American League?
King Felix.
Yeah.
I know that Sale has a better ERA by a couple points, but the 200-plus innings and the 200-plus strikeouts are what really jump out at me.
Sale spent some time on the DL. He's made 23 starts. King Felix has 30. And I think that goes a long ways. Corey Kluber, I think a lot of folks that follow the Indians might throw his name in there.
You definitely should. He's another 200 inning, 200 strikeout plus guy too. This is the 6th time that Felix Hernandez has done that. Lester's on the verge of 200 innings and 200 plus strikeouts.
Top pitch on the hands, 2-2 the count. Garrett Richards had a shot to be in that conversation prior to that horrible injury to the knee.
His numbers were dropping rapidly too, as far as ERA is concerned, and the strikeouts were mounting up, but he had some electric stuff going.
I just don't think I saw anybody all year long that impressed me more.
Oh, he dazzled you when he was out there, that's for sure.
2-2 pitch. They appeal down to third, no swing. So a 3-2 count on Seager.
Scherzer, 200 innings, 232 strikeouts.
Look, to me, it's just a really nice, intriguing story in the American League. All those big-name pitchers, and they've stood up and done their jobs this year. But Dallas Keuchel and Colin McHugh right there with them. And for me, it was a shame that Dallas wasn't a part of the All-Star team. Got him swinging. Working that inside edge. Seager down on strikes. 2 punch-outs in the 7th. 4 on the night for Colin McHugh. 1-0 Houston.
The AT&T fan photo of the game. And tonight, let's see who it is. It's Alex with this awesome photo. Thanks for tweeting us. Make sure you tweet your photo to CSNH fan photo with a hashtag there for your chance to have it shown in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Earlier today, Jose Altuve catching up with Robinson Cano. Look at those hot hitters right there. Altuve spoke about his relationship with Cano earlier and saying that he's known him ever since he came into the league. Cano was really nice to him in the beginning, and every time he has a chance or an opportunity, he is going to ask Cano as many questions as he possibly can. He is just in awe of what Cano is able to do, but aren't we in awe of what Altuve can do as well, guys?
Absolutely. Absolutely. He's just had as good a season as anybody you want to name in the league, other than maybe Jose Abreu.
Yeah. Power-wise and RBI-wise.
But, Blummer, when you start talking a chance to win the batting title, have the most hits in baseball for the season, and win the league stolen base title, that's Jose Altuve and the season he's been throwing together.
For sure.
And then throw in 40 doubles for good measure.
Yeah, that's a number that gets overlooked for me.
Ground ball to short. Actually cutting in front, Seager at third base, and out number 1. So 2 games in now, not quite done with 2 games in the series. Altuve still looking for his first knock. It has been a quiet jaunt here into Seattle, but he will get hot once again.
There is no doubt about that. got robbed of a hit by Austin Jackson. That third at bat, bomb he hit into center field. But as you can tell, neither Ash or I are going to panic about that kid.
Not a bit. No, after watching him all season, there's no locks at anything in this game, but he's about as close a thing to it to coming out of any mini slump that might come his way. Fowler's 0 for 3 on the night with a strikeout. 8th inning, 1-0 Houston. It is time to get some energy. I think he's seething right now.
I think that candy bar's taking the brunt of it too.
I'm not sure I've seen that kind of I don't know if you could call it anger, but it sure looks like he's just got to get back out there and make something happen.
It's just a matter of time before he starts giggling again, though. That's his disposition, which is pretty amazing.
He almost did it right there. 1-2 on Fowler. Chris Carter waits on deck. Jose, you're just not the same when you're a little bit hungry.
Turned into a diva.
Yeah, but he'll be back. Yeah, we've said it a lot of times about Altuve. He's just one of those guys who loves the game, a really nice guy. And he's upset for the moment. He's not happy about not coming up with some hits.
He might be upset Krause is hogging that railing right there, not giving him any room.
Down on strikes, Dexter Fowler. Second time for Dexter tonight. 2 down in the 8th.
2015 Astros season tickets are on sale now. Enjoy some of the best seats at Minute Maid Park. Get the best value and receive great benefits throughout the season. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS now to reserve your seats.
Seattle has right-hander Yoervis Medina throwing in their pen.
He's not my Ervis. He's your
He is
Ervis.
your Ervis. Actually, he's Yo Ervis.
Yo, Ervis.
Chris Carter has a knock in 2 official at bats. Also has drawn a walk.
It's about time we see Chris get a hold of one. It's been a while, a couple days now. Last time I think he hit one was off Samardzija. Now would be a really good time.
That's longer than we're comfortable with, right?
Make a mistake. Good spoil right there by Chris Carter.
With an 0-2 count, able to get a piece.
Tough slider on that outside corner.
You think Seattle is a little bit concerned when Carter comes to the plate?
I think he is getting that reputation.
Lifetime against the Mariners, 10 home runs in 42 games.
Oh boy. Hit the bull. Yeah, that's quite a few. I'd have to say, you know, majority of them have been here at Safeco Field too.
He's just torn it up. Ground ball foul.
Oh, good grief. What's going on down there, Shelby? We worked on this before the game. But you know what? You got to stay down. It's cool. I understand. You got to throw the jacket on. It's cumbersome, but get the glove down.
You know what, though? These girls change from one side of the field to the other, and you've got to get used to playing the right and the left side. Carter down on strikes. Couple of strikeouts for Smith. We've played 7.5. The Astros hang into a 1-0 lead. a hits record, a home run chase, and a major league debut are all part of the backdrop for tomorrow's series finale with the Seattle Mariners. Pre-game live starts tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Tomorrow's pitching matchup brought to you by Chevron. They want you to care for your car when you're doing those donuts. It's going to be rookie right-hander Nick Tropiano making his first big league appearance tomorrow. See his numbers down there in AAA, and he's got a tall assignment on his hands going up against Hisashi Iwakuma for the Seattle Mariners. 14-6 record, nice ERA, whip incredibly low. He's had good times against the Houston Astros, who are going to try and change that.
You know, Blummer, a little earlier in the ballgame, last we checked, Hunter Pence had just slid into home plate. Yeah. Yeah, and so
that was going to be a really good story.
Finish that story for us.
I'm hitting, I believe it's the bottom of the ninth. We're in Minute Maid Park, so the left field is pretty close. I'm hitting right-handed against Billy Wagner, who was closing for the Phillies or Mets at the time. Anyways, Hunter Pence is on second. Mark Loretta at third. I hit a bullet to left. And I hit that ball well, amazingly enough. And
you didn't break your bat on that one.
No,
right?
I actually squared this one up. I got to use that bat 2 times in a row. And it was hit hard enough to where the left fielder couldn't come and catch it, but he had to stay back and make sure he got a good hop. And Loretta had to freeze because there were less than 2 outs. So he freezes. But meanwhile, at second base, Hunter Pence put his head down and was running like a bat out of hell. Wasn't looking up. So Loretta, not the speediest guy, figures out the ball's going to drop, starts heading home, slides into the catcher. It was a pretty close play at home.
Ground ball shot to first, handled by Singleton. He'll go to the bag, and out number 1. That comes on a 2-0 pitch.
Piece of defense right down this line right here. Late in the game, playing on that line with that left-handed hitter. Nice stop. Yeah. Keep that body in front. So Mark Loretta gets to home plate, bang, bang play. Catcher goes to tag him, misses him. Mark Loretta's safe. Literally a half second behind him. Hunter Pence comes in and absolutely blows up the entire area of home plate, sliding into Mark Loretta. Mark Loretta proceeds to hit the catcher. The catcher goes flying out of the entire home plate circle. Mark Loretta is face planted somewhere beyond that left hand hitter's box, face down. All while this is going on, Pence hits home plate and immediately jumps up an immediate celebration, ignoring the fact that he just ruined Mark Loretta.
Drive to right field. This is going to tie it up. Logan Morrison has hit a bomb to right field. And here in the 8th inning, it's a 1-1 tie.
That pretty much ruined my story, too.
That did do that. Home run number 7 for Morrison. So the Seattle Mariners finally get to Colin McHugh, just their second hit of the night.
So you want to be a big league pitcher. You're going out there doing a great job. You go 7 1/3 innings, only giving up 1 hit, and then you throw one mistake fastball, and Logan Morrison absolutely unloads on it. And he unloads on Astro pitching. In his career coming into this game, he was 29 for 71. That's a 408 clip with 16 RBIs. In 20 career games against the Houston Astros. And it's tough to see a guy like Colin McHugh give up a bomb like that after pitching so extremely well.
That hurt. That hurt. A no doubt shot that hit off the facing of the second deck. Well, 1-1 now in the 8th inning. Kevin Chapman, the left-hander, getting loose for Houston.
Logan Morrison went all in right there. Put all his chips in the middle of the table and said, I'm going to sit on fastball. If I get it, I'm going to absolutely unleash on it. And he got a perfect pitch to do it on.
Not sure he can hit it harder than that. He's had some breaking balls kind of get away and stay up here in the inning.
It's got to be tough to try and keep that poise. Granted, it's only a solo home run. You would like to have a couple more runs behind you, but pitching as well as he has, to come back from giving up a bomb like that, it's got to be tough.
3-0 pitch.
That's a spot where you would think a guy with Zunino's pop in a situation where you guarantee the fastball, Maybe let the kid go for it.
20 bombs on his year. So was that celebration by Pence larger than yours when you realized you had 2 ribbies on the shot? There's a big swing.
I was excited, but I was a little concerned when Hunter Pence tried to pick up Mark Loretta's limp, dying body to celebrate. There was a lot of concern there.
Well, I'm hoping there was, because he seemed to be a very fine teammate. 3-2 pitch. Pop foul. Offside. And this one's about 5 rows back to the dugout.
No, both those guys were great teammates. Hunter Pence, I thoroughly enjoyed playing with him. He was a lot of fun to watch. And Mark Loretta, just a true professional and an unbelievable hitter.
Of course, Hunter Pence has some of the really intriguing, most unusual mannerisms in the game. Did you guys have fun with those?
Yes. Yeah, he was a rookie at the time. You know, the first couple of years he got called up, I was there in Houston, so we had a good time with him.
Did you guys bust his chops over some of the mannerisms?
Yeah, we tried to emulate that swing he has on deck, and all of us failed miserably. I may have dislocated my shoulder trying to do it, too.
Would he laugh with you guys trying to copy that?
Yeah, he's a good kid.
Zunino gets under it and hits one high in the air down the left field side. Robbie Grossman comes on. He'll make the catch. That's 2 down here in the 8th inning. Good swing by Zunino.
Yeah, Hunter Pence, he giggled about it. He gave it back every once in a while. He had a good time with it. And, you know, we would make fun of him, but at the same time, when the game started, we were like, hey, just keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, don't change a thing.
So 2 outs. Left-handed bat of Michael Saunders at the plate. He's flied out twice. And the skip is coming out. Tom Lawless heading toward the mound. Left-hander Chapman loosening in the pen. Is this the end of the night for Colin McHugh? Tom Lawless doesn't make his intentions known early. And now he's going to chat things over with his right-hander. Great night for Colin McHugh, but now the game on the line, 1-1.
Well, I like how this conversation's between Castro and McHugh. That's what Tom wanted to go out there and see.
You can see Colin McHugh say, let's go.
Well, maybe Tom walked out there and said, hey, what's your approach against Michael Saunders? What are you going to do right here? And he had a good conversation with Jason Castro and convinced Lawless that he wants to stay in and finish this 8th inning. Pitch count's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, that it is. Adam Everett kind of wanted in on the conversation. I think Adam's really enjoying this bench coach responsibility. It's an opportunity to really kind of learn at the big league level what goes on.
It's just a different, I don't know if it's a vibe or there's a different emotion in being a big league manager, bench coach, you know, at this level. I know I keep saying it's big league and at this level and stuff like that, but I'm saying it's a little bit different being a AAA manager. You're dealing with a lot of roster changes. You're not sure what guys are here or how to handle emotions and things like that. At the big league level, there is a lot of moving parts on a 25-man roster. A lot of egos.
Ground ball, that's in the hole, but a diving stop VR and a pick by Singleton, and it results in the out on Michael Saunders. What a play on both ends. Jonathan VR has been all over the place at shortstop. So Seattle gets on the board with their 2nd hit of the night. A long home run by Morrison, but check out Mr. VR.
Excited one here at Safeco Field. Great guests, hot topics, and no holds barred debate. Kevin Eschenfelder serves it up fresh every single weeknight on Sports Talk Live at 5 p.m. only on Comcast Sportsnet. Jonathan VR making the most out of these opportunities, guys.
Boy, is he ever. He's made plays on both sides of the diamond. And this one diving to rob Michael Saunders, but then it took a pick by John Singleton, and a great pick it was.
It was a great play all the way around. Huge lift for Colin McHugh. This one might have snuck past and been the end of his night, but instead, VR showing the athleticism, throwing a seed over there, and a great pick by John Singleton. Finish off that 8th inning of work for Colin McHugh.
And now as we go to the 9th inning, left-hander Joe Beimel, veteran, comes in to work it. Boy, Jonathan VR, maybe a bit of a surprise start at shortstop tonight, but he's taking full advantage.
Much to the delight of Colin McHugh. Have you seen his line on the evening?
Really, wow. Really good. Damn. Really good for Colin McHugh. But now you wind up in one of these tight ball games late once again. Last night, the same story. It got away as Seattle put a 3-spot on the board in the 8th inning. Seattle could not get on the board until the 8th inning tonight when they finally got their second hit against Colin McHugh. But that was a launched hit. Big home run by Logan Morrison. Now, is there some way to get something going? Castro has reached twice tonight, a walk and a single in 3 plate appearances. Line shot up and over that dugout into the seats.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Joe Beimel's numbers. 50th game. 1.99 ERA, doing a great job. Left-handers, this is why he's in there. 178 average. My goodness. That was right over Julia's head in a hurry.
I don't know how these fans survive these line drives, but I sure am glad they do in most cases.
I agree.
2 hopper to shortstop. Miller with the play, and out number 1.
Well, primetime picks are just spot on, aren't they, Ash?
Well, Castro's reached twice tonight. Chris Carter has reached twice tonight.
Both have a strikeout.
But John Singleton and maybe Jonathan VR would have been maybe the picks of the night.
Yep.
Lloyd McClendon's coming out to the mound. We're 1 out in the 9th inning. Beimel has gotten 1 out. And now the right-handed bat of Jake Marisnick is coming up. Medina is throwing in the bullpen. Yoervis Medina. And so he'll be summoned as Beimel heads toward that first base dugout. Month of September, you're just going to see loads and loads of pitchers. All tied at 1. We'll be right back. Jason Castro has grounded out. And now a second change of pitching here in the inning for Seattle. Yoervis Medina comes on. 26-year-old right-hander out of Venezuela. In his second year now in the big leagues.
Probably had a tough time picking his walk-in song.
Funky
Cold Medina. Toned Loke.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah. So this is Yorvis, the Funky Cold Medina, if you ask him. I like it.
So Jeff Blum is in agreement. There's no reason to change anything when that's the case. Jake Marisnick at the plate. Base is empty as Marisnick takes one low. Marisnick 0 for 3, but scored that run for Houston tonight. That came way back in the 4th inning. John Singleton hit a rocket to right field, hit right up on the yellow line. Stayed in the ballpark. They had to review that shot. Eventually a double for Singleton. He wound up at third base and produced his 44th RBI of the year. That's all the Astros have been able to muster this evening. Seattle got one big swing against Colin McHugh. Breaking ball stays inside. Talked about Marisnick and his size. He's a big fella. And you see him developing some power at some point.
He's a big kid. Usually they create some leverage.
Fastball runs in on the hands, 2-2.
Kind of reminds me of a kid out of the University of Texas, Drew Stubbs. Played center field for the Cincinnati Reds for a while. Kind of that tall, lanky, speed type guy, but Drew Stubbs had some sneaky pop.
Is Stubbs not still playing somewhere?
I believe he's still playing. I just can't put my finger. I think he went to Cleveland. I'm not sure if he's still there.
Breaking ball stays in on the hands.
Now he's in Colorado, but I mean, we all got to double check. I haven't been paying that much attention to where he's gone after that. I just remember playing against him. You know, it's a solid 2-hopper to me at third, and it turned into a bang-bang play at first, and I was like, wait a minute. Next time up, he goes dead center field for a home run. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I know he's had some really good power. Didn't realize he ran quite that well.
No, he ran real well.
2-2 on Marisnick. Medina's getting in on the hands. There's a way to teach a guy not to do that quite so often.
How do you do that?
The head out. I'm sure you employed that a number of times.
Yes, I did. I always got the question, how did you do that? And, just throwing the head around.
Down on strikes. Marisnick is out number 2 here in the inning. That's 8 strikeouts of Astros hitters.
Drew Stubbs is in Colorado as we look at a slider from Medina. Nasty. That might have been a little bit of a split finger too. Throws hard. Has a lot of walks, but also K's racking up.
But we've mentioned that Seattle has the best overall pitching ERA in the league. A fairly wide margin. Their bullpen is number 1. Their starters are number 1. They have not been great offensively. They've played good defense. And a lot of people feel that's been a big part of why they've pitched so well. But it doesn't hurt that they've got some terrific arms.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Zone. John Singleton has had a very good night. He has singled and doubled. Came ever so close to launching one. Drove in a run with that double. Almost, and I mean as close as you can get, had a third hit on the night. Called initially safe at first base on a ground ball to first, but eventually with a review on the play, called out. One frame got him.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
10 for his next 10. He'd be right at 200.
Okay.
Boom.
Did you work that out?
Oh, really? I hang around astronauts.
Okay, we're going to go back to that tale. 2-1 pitch. Good swing by John. It's 2-2. So your astronaut buddies, while circling the Earth.
Yeah, man. Well, I went to the museum up there in Ohio, and I saw that they, got out their Alan Ashby slide rule.
Yeah.
Figure out the trajectory to get back on Earth.
I think those guys are smart enough
to figure out how to get to 200.
They don't need the slide rule. They don't need the iPad. They just quickly spin the numbers in their head, don't they?
Yeah. Well, I'm not that good. I haven't gone to space yet.
That and duct tape, I think, is what solves it all for the guys.
It's all ball bearings and gauze pads anyways.
Apollo 13 taught me that duct tape is really the saving element. Singleton gets away with a close one. It's 3-2. Matt Dominguez waits on deck. One of those games that has the feel that one big swing can get it done. And ball 4. A 2-out walk brings up Matt Dominguez. Jeff Blum is settling in, putting on the slippers. He's got Mr. Rogers' sweater on now. Ready for a long night, huh? Tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll break out the cardigan tomorrow.
Okay. Lloyd McClendon is coming out to the mound once again. Jonathan Villar's a switch hitter. Apparently Lloyd might be thinking about, still Matt Dominguez at the plate. What's this going to be about?
You got 2 outs, son. One more, we're out of the inning. That's dropping some knowledge right there.
Yeah. And I've been a part of that meeting too. Kind of curious when you see the skip come out, a slow, purposeful stride toward the mound, and then you have that kind of a meeting, and what was that all about? We've got a left-hander, Charlie Furbush, warming in the pen. Two outs in the 9th inning. Charlie's one of Jeff's favorite players. Matt Dominguez.
He's the reason I got into broadcasting.
Is he?
Oh, yeah. Where else are you going to be able to say Furbush?
There probably are some limitations on that.
You can have it be socially acceptable.
That's a good point. See, it's analysis like that
You ain't lying. Oh, man.
0-1 pitch, grounded foul. So Matt Dominguez down in the count, 0-2.
Matty D's overdue for a big hit, isn't he? Been a while.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a while.
It's been a rough road trip for him. 1 for 14.
0-2 the count on Matt. Quick feet for Yoervis Medina. Actually, I'm ready to just turn to Yo Medina.
Nice. He's actually pretty good, Ash.
I'm scuffling with Yoervis.
Yo Medina.
0-2 pitch. Slider in the dirt. Zunino has it kick out in front into second base. And safe in there is John Singleton. By the way, we were talking last night about Chris Carter and that what we thought might have been a delayed steal. Got some inside information today that you can go ahead and think all you want that it was a delayed steal, but really wasn't, just a pitch in the dirt, and that's the way the story goes anyway.
Huh.
So now a man in scoring position, John Singleton. The wild pitch gets him there. Matt Dominguez has a 1-2 count. So that's a big pitch, potentially. As Charlie Furbush continues to toil in the bullpen. The 1-2. Breaking ball in the dirt. John Singleton took a huge secondary lead there. It's got that playoff feel if you could just add a few more people into the seats here.
11,000 over here seem to be hanging on.
They are. And that was close.
And they're hanging on every pitch.
95 miles an hour, just out of the strike zone. Good eye by Matty D. Singleton trying to get that big secondary lead at second base and make sure he can score on a base hit. Left fielder Chavez playing extremely shallow. And a ground ball left side, backhanded by the shortstop Miller. Moving into third is Singleton on the base hit by Matt Dominguez, but that's as far as Singleton can go. Do you see how shallow Chavez was playing in left field?
Sure was. That was kind of crazy. Matt Dominguez got some pop to drive it over his head. See, right off the end of the bat, great job of staying through that ball for Matt Dominguez. But a heads-up play by Miller. That's all you can do.
That has runners at first and third now with 2 outs. Kyle Seager had moved to his left on that ground ball and had no chance to get back to the bag. So Jonathan Villar at the plate, the switch hitter batting left-handed. And for Villar, he's already had a very good night. This one gets away from Zunino. But the runners will hold.
This has been a spectacular night. Got that double in his first at bat, and then just been playing fantastic defense, making some huge plays behind Colin McHugh.
And that fantastic night can only get better with a base hit right here. A 1-1 count. We saw VR last year have a tendency to want to drop down a lot of bunts. This would be a spot where if he were to do so would probably make life really tough on John Singleton. Ground ball up the middle, and it gets into the outfield. That's an RBI single. Matt Dominguez stops at second, and there's your huge night for Jonathan Villar. RBI single, 2-1 Houston, right here in the 9th inning.
There's your icing on the cake for Jonathan Villar. Nice firm ground ball just out of the reach of Robinson Cano. Good job pulling the hands in and getting the barrel on that heater. It's tough right there. Wow, that took a crazy hop, hopping over his glove too. A little bit of a pull played on him, but that last hop just jumped over the glove, bouncing the Astros' way.
Looked like Cano had a beat on it, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Medina is done. So that's going to do it for Yo. As we go to the top of the order, Grossman coming to the plate. lead here in the ninth inning. RBI single with 2 outs. Jonathan Villar, in fact, back-to-back hits. Matt Dominguez and JV. And so the Astros have taken the lead, and Colin McHugh can pick up the W as a result of this run here in the ninth inning, and how he would love to be able to get that. And now Chuck Furbush comes on for the Seattle Mariners.
Good look at Jonathan Villar having himself a night.
Plummer is just digging a little deeper into the numbers here. He'll get you something.
Take a look at see what Furbush is dealing with here tonight.
It's gotten tight here in the ninth inning. Robbie Grossman 1 for 4 on his night. A couple of strikeouts for Robbie. Had a single in the 5th inning. Then was caught stealing. Breaking ball down in the dirt. 1-0 the count. Robbie's hitting .218. Has 4 hits in the series. Good spot for another big hit for the club. 2-0 the count for Seattle. 5th pitcher of the night. Elias, Smith, Beimel, Medina, and now Furbush. And now Josh Fields gets it loose. Colin McHugh has gone the distance, 8 innings for Houston. And terrific night for Colin McHugh. So it looks like Josh Fields will have that assignment in the 9th inning. 2-1 the count. Robbie Grossman, that tendency to wait it out so many times. But as a man, Matt Dominguez in scoring position. Jose Altuve still looking for that first knock of the night.
It'd be nice to sneak him in there and give him another shot at it.
Long 0 for 4 with an error. Not many of those for Altuve on the year. How many back-to-back nights has Altuve had without a hit this year?
There can't be many. Well, it always seems like even if he does have a couple rough back-to-back nights, he comes out the next day and racks up 4 more hits to make up for those 2 games that he didn't get those hits.
Two and 2 the count. Robbie's ready to pull the trigger. Lines one foul down the left side. Two outs to start the inning. Jason Castro grounded out to shortstop. Jake Marisnick struck out. And then a walk with 2 outs to John Singleton. Matt Dominguez had an infield single. There was a wild pitch before that single. That Singleton at second base. That infield single made it first and third, and then Jonathan Villar, the big base hit into center field.
What a night for Jonathan. I hope that's something he can really build off of. Kind of lost that mojo right before getting sent down. Went down, battled his way through AAA to get back up here and having himself a night.
Grossman down on strikes. 3rd time tonight as he finishes 1 for 5, or hopes that's the case. It is down to the bullpen now. 2-1 Houston. insurance could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. Safeco Field, it's a beautiful ballpark. Astros leading at 2-1 defensively. The Astros make a change in left. Alex Presley takes over for Robbie Grossman. And on the mound, Josh Fields comes on to lock down this ninth inning.
He's been doing a pretty good job of late. Racking up the appearances, racking up the strikeouts too. 69 in those 53 and 2/3 innings. Good fastball, located it well in that Oakland series. Good changeup, good hammer.
Fields will face the 9-1 and 2 spots. Brad Miller leads it off. And again, the guy that had that big game-winning hit for Seattle last night, he takes a strike. Fields with that good mid-90s heater. But it comes with a changeup that's become a bigger and bigger part of the repertoire.
He's turning into a legit 3-pitch pitcher.
He is. Got a good over-the-top curveball, but that changeup changes the dynamics with the fastball.
I agree.
And now 2-1. You've got to be able to come after that first hitter. Fields, of course, just in his second year in the big leagues. Pitched in 41 games a year ago. This is his 54th this year. Big swing and a miss by Miller.
That's in a fastball count right there, so that gives you an idea of what kind of life he has on that fastball.
Yeah.
And of course, elevated too makes it a lot harder to catch up to.
His stuff is so legit. Speaking of Josh Fields,
he's going to make Julia start dancing.
I didn't say it was too legit because you can't have it be too legit, but it is so legit.
You are correct.
And now 3-2.
Yep. You called it, Ash. And that is what has won Julia the dance off against Kawasaki.
So that's all you have to do is mention her dancing and she starts to go at it again.
Oh, I'm sure somebody in that truck is sitting on that play button. Fields picked up his third save back there in Oakland when he went a third of an inning and got a strikeout.
3-2 pitch and a big one. Fly ball center field and deep. Fowler going back. Has a beat on it. He'll make the catch. There's that key first out in the ninth inning.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how you get it as long as you get it. That ball was stung pretty well, but to the deepest part of the ballpark.
It's a ballpark that has seen the wall be shortened in left field. Still a pitcher's yard, though. Top of the order with Austin Jackson.
Yeah, between the dimensions and the weather they get up here, yeah, I think it qualifies as a pitcher's park.
One out. Jackson and Chavez due up. Again, Colin McHugh stands to win it tonight if the Astros can hang on here. Colin, 8 innings of 2-hit ball, one of those a home run. Did not walk a man, struck out 4, and even 100 pitches on the night. And he departs with the ERA at 2.79. Fields finds the strike zone. Drawn in third base side and shading toward the line is Matt Dominguez. Also drawn in on the first base side, Big John Singleton. Jonathan VR and John Singleton really putting together the nights for Houston, along with Colin McHugh. And now a 1-2 count. How you'd love to get through this ninth inning without bringing Robinson Cano to the plate.
That would be big. So that means if he's up there, there's a couple guys on base.
Josh Fields taking his time. Always from the stretch. The 1-2. Change got him looking. How about that pitch?
That was gorgeous. Almost came out of there like a split finger. But that was filthy. That's some recognition right there, and you just say, oh my, that thing came back to the zone. Nice pitch.
Just lock up a hitter when he sees that. 2 outs, base is empty. Indeed, Chavez at the plate. He's 0 for 3. It was Chavez grounding into that double play in the 4th inning, the only twin killing on the night. Hits a ground ball to the left of VR. He'll make the play, and that'll do it. Jonathan VR has a big night. Josh Fields comes in and locks down the